Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Bassini and I'm from The Baking Coach. Today we are going to make potato pierogies. Oh, they're so good. Anyway, so let's get started. So what we're going to do is we are going to put into this bowl some flour and salt. For the exact measurements, email us for the recipe if you don't already have it at bakingcoach.com. So I've got just flour and salt in here. And I'm going to add in my butter, little butter chunks. And I'm gonna just pinch the butter into the flour. And how you know that the butter is equally dispersed in the flour is it will tarnish the flour a little. All of a sudden, your flour will have a little bit of a yellowish tint. What is a tint? Anyway, tint, instead of just pure white. And it kind of disappears. So it's kind of a twofold thing. Okay, so pinch that in. Try not to use the palm of your hands. Just pinch it in for equal disbursement into the flour. And the next thing I'm going to use is an egg. Crack in one large egg. This egg has been sitting at room temperature. If your egg is cold, just set it in some hot tap water for about 3 to 5 minutes and it'll make it nice and room temperature. Crack in the egg. Never crack it directly into the bowl. If you get a shell, you'll never see it. So I don't have a shell, but I have something strange on top of my egg. So let me see if I can't get that off. There we go. Great. Okay. Just pulled it out. I don't know what it was. Anyway, so I've got my egg in there, and then I'm also going to add in some sour cream. Oh, I love sour cream. Okay. Put that in there. And then I always like to start when I've got very different substances and start it a little bit with a spoon just to kind of get it well coated and moved around into the flour. There we go. Okay, now that that's in, now I'm going to squeeze it in. Until it forms a dough. You can go ahead and use your 2 hands if you want to. I'm wearing gloves because it makes a very boring video if I am mixing this with my raw hands, and I gotta stop and I've got to wash my hands. So keep squeezing this in until a dough forms. If your dough is a little dry, go ahead and add in a tiny bit more of sour cream. So you can, it's going to vary day to day. Another thing is egg sizes vary. So just if your dough is a little dry, add in a tiny bit more of sour cream. Okay. You want to knead the dough until it's completely smooth. Do you have the sour cream out? I need a little more. It's in the fridge? I'll grab it. Okay, I'm gonna grab my sour cream because I need a tiny bit more. And it's always good to buy a large sour cream because you can enjoy your pierogies with sour cream too. So, yummy, yummy. Add in another tablespoon more. Just to get all of the dough and everything combined together. Yep, perfect. Turn this out. And now you're just going to work this dough until it is completely smooth. So you just want to knead it a little bit. And kneading works like this. Boop, boop. You're going to squeeze the dough and push it away from you, just like that. And what will happen is it'll turn into a cylinder shape. When you stand it up, push it down and do it again and work it away from you. You want to do this quite a few times, and then you'll feel the difference in the consistency of your dough. It'll be super soft and really nice to work with. And when one hand gets tired, you can use the other hand. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna put that aside. And I would wrap this in plastic wrap, form it into a ball, then go into a disc, just like that, and let it rest for at least 2 hours or overnight. And through the magic, we have one already ready to go over here when we start our rolling process. But let's talk about filling. So here in our filling, we have some potatoes, cold potatoes, that I've mashed up with a fork. I've also got some, I'm gonna take off my gloves for a minute. I'll need another pair of gloves if you can grab them. Okay, I'm gonna put in some salt and some pepper, if I can get it open. And I've got some cheese. You don't have to put cheese in, but it makes it really nice. Got my cheese here. I've got some onions that are all cooked up. I only had a red onion today, but you could use red or white, doesn't matter. And then I have my cheddar cheese. I have a blend of white cheddar cheese and yellow cheddar cheese. Either one works. You could just use white so you don't see it so much with your potatoes if you want to. There you go. But this actually adds a little bit of color. And I'm going to mix all of this up together to make my filling for my pierogies. So you've got onion, cheese, and potatoes, and salt and pepper. Like, that's amazing. Okay. So I took half the onion and I cooked it with my, with a little bit of oil till it was translucent. And the other half I'm saving, so when I pan fry my pierogies, I can cook the pierogies themselves in a little bit of chopped onion, which we're going to show you how to assemble and then talk about how to cook them. You boil them, and then after you boil them, you can pan fry them a little. You don't necessarily have to do that, but makes them even delicious when the pierogies get a nice little crisp brown to them. Okay, after being boiled. All right, so my filling is all together now. You could do this with a fork. I honestly prefer to use my hands a lot when I'm baking and cooking. Okay, I'm just gonna wipe my gloves a little bit. Okay. Here we have our pierogi dough already set and going. I like to portion my pierogi dough out immediately. So here's the disc, and I'm going to form this into a log. And this dough has been sitting probably for just about an hour, so we really don't even have like the full time, but we're gonna work with the best we can. Okay, so I have it into a log shape, and I'm going to cut this into 18 pieces. So the best way to do that is going to cut this log into 3 pieces initially. So I'm gonna just eyeball and cut it into 3 pieces. Then I'm gonna take each piece, stretch it out a little more, And then I want to cut this into 6 pieces. So 3 times 6 equals 18, okay? So let's just cut this. I'm going to cut this in half. And then each half I'll cut into 3 pieces. And I like to roll this out piece by piece. So I have my 6 pieces. You would continue to do that with the other 2 logs. Gonna get it back in the bag so that we keep the air off of it. I'm gonna show you how to form your pierogi. So here we have our piece of dough. I like to stretch it out a little bit with my hands at first into a disc. I'm gonna add a tiny pinch of flour, nothing huge, on both sides. Go, get my rolling pin. Going to roll out my pierogies. 1. Okay. And 2. Okay. Yeah, nice big pierogi. You want to kind of keep it in a round shape as best as possible. Just move it around, not too thick. Going to take a little bit of the filling, put it in the center, just like that. Could probably add a little bit more. Fold it over, push it down, and then pinch it shut so it's nice and tight. You could make your pierogies smaller, but I like to make mine large. And there you go. And that is a pierogi. Okay, so I just want to make sure yep, okay. You can also use a fork. It's gonna look like an empanada, this one. You can use a fork. And that is how you would boil this pierogi. Once it's boiled, they float to the top, and then you would pull them out of the water, let them cool, and then pan fry them. So I'm gonna show you one more time how to make a pierogi. I'm gonna use a smaller piece of dough just to give you a more of a ethnic kind of shape here of a regular pierogi. Got a little more flour. But you can make them any size you want. I like to make them big, so that you have like 1 or 2 and then that's it. This will be a little bit smaller, but I like them. Okay, add a little bit of the filling. Fold it over. You want to make sure you've got a good lip of the filling so that your filling isn't coming out. And then these will boil up. Once they're boiled, you'll put them in a pot of rolling boiled water. And after they're boiled, pull them out, let them drain, and then you can put them in a skillet, saute, chop up the onion, the remaining onion, flavor the oil, and then pan fry your pierogies. And you can serve them with a side of some sour cream. Absolutely delicious. So if you have any questions, or if you need today's recipe, please reach out to us at bakingcoach.com. Enjoy your pierogies, everyone. Bye-bye now.